Hello, welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome to my channel for the first time. I never know if somebody's new or if you're coming back, or I'll be honest, I don't actually feel like there's an audience sometimes. It's just me talking to a camera. So imagine that. And then you have to pretend there's all these people watching. I'm pretending. So anyways, this is one of my ramble videos. This is the problem with Landon Bailey, my ongoing series of nonsense. And this time, I was just thinking about this the other day, so I thought, I can actually talk about it because I've done enough. This is the problem with Partscasters. So we'll start off with what is a Partscaster? And I guess the definition is when you take parts and you put together your own guitar, and the caster part is sort of, they've taken, we got Telecaster and Stratocaster from Fender, just taking that part of the word and blending it into a parts, like a kit or something, or maybe you piece it together yourself. So that's the name, basically. You're assembling a guitar, and you're buying all the parts, you're hunting out everything and piecing it together. And I've made a bunch over the years. My first video on my channel, if you want to go verify this, very first video, I think it was like a minute long. It's a slideshow. It's a Partscaster. 2015, I built it, and then I started the channel in 2016. So that kind of got the channel rolling, I guess. I didn't really realize it at the time. It wasn't the plan. But at the time, back in 2015, that's 10 years ago, you didn't have Fender selling all the parts you can get today. You didn't have all these brands. I think Warmoth was around. Pretty sure they were. Mighty Mite was probably around. All Parts was around. But you didn't have the variety and the options today that you have. For example, one of the other options is, what's the name? The Stratosphere parts. So they actually take apart guitars, like official Fender guitars, PRS, Gibson, all that stuff. You can buy those pieces. I don't know if they were around. I can't remember. But anyways, so now today, like 2025, or whenever you're watching this, that's what the date is that I'm making this. There's just so much variety, so many options, kind of overwhelming. Maybe you don't really know what you want to do, but it is super fun. So I'll describe what I think about Partscasters and the problem I have with them over the years. So it's super fun to dream up a guitar that you can put together yourself. And I'd say anybody, almost anybody, could put together a Partscaster, especially a bolt-on neck, right? That's 4 screws going into a body. The hardest part of all of this is the setup, and maybe for some people the soldering, but there's solderless options out there. Obsidian wire, which I've been using forever. There's other brands too. I can't remember the name. I think Mojo Tone makes wireless kits. Solderless kits, sorry, they have wires. They're solderless. Let's be clear about that. And so there's a lot of options out there. There's obviously a lot of knockoff cheap parts you can buy too. It comes down to your budget. You can go from $100, you can spend $100 to build a guitar. You can go all the way to thousands if you want. Depends what you want to spend. I say put all your money in the neck. I've always said that. That's where you should put your money. So I remember my first one was a Tele. I think my first 2, 3, I probably did like 3 or 4 Tele Partscasters. And then I know I've done a Strat, I've done a Jaguar, Jazzmaster, pretty much just Fender models, right? Recently did a Harley Benton kit. I did another Solo Music, which was like an offset, not really a Jazzmaster, but kind of a Jazzmaster. And overall, all of them were great. They all played fine. I was able to do the setups. I learned how to do that, basically like 4 major steps in a setup. And so I'd make these videos kind of documenting my experience and how it all worked out. And it was fun. I didn't even hit record on that. That's why we're using this one. Okay. Wow. That's why you do a backup. I'm such an idiot. So yeah, getting back to it, I'd say all the projects were a success. The guitars played well. I enjoyed them. Now here's getting into the problem. What is the problem that I had? Well, how many of those do I have today? Of all the builds or assemblies, if you say build, people get mad at you. Of all the Partscasters I put together with my hands, how many do I have today? 0. Why is that? So I started thinking about it. I think I found the answer. And you can leave a comment and see if you agree with me. I don't think everybody will agree, but this is what it comes down to for me. So the hunting and gathering, like the I guess it's the most creative part where you're picturing the guitar and then finding the pieces. And I used to love finding deals on parts. I'm like, I'm not paying full price for that. And I'd find a deal on something like, yeah, suckers, I didn't pay full price. Meanwhile, I'm still paying something, right? It's not as cheap as building it or making the piece yourself. So yeah, collecting all the stuff is great. Assembling it, making the video was fun. Putting out a video that got a response, I'd actually make money back from the videos to pay for the guitar. So I'm like, this is pretty cool. And then the last part, like, so you got this guitar. I'm like, it's kind of cool. Like, what is it? It's something about it. I don't love this guitar. It's great, but I don't love it. And what is it? And then I started thinking about like food. And like, what? What do you mean thinking about food? And I was thinking about, when you go to a restaurant or you go out for dinner or you have a family member, maybe like your mom or grandma, they make you something. Maybe even your wife makes you a sandwich, like they should. Totally joking. I say that to my wife all the time. She just stares at me. She's like, what's a sandwich? I'm like, doesn't matter. Make it. Get in the kitchen. If you think I'm serious about that, that's not how I am. I totally joke about that stuff because it's so bad. And that's the point. Anyways, totally getting off track. Ramble. Food. Okay. Let's say you make your own meal and you sit down and you eat. You're okay. Relax. It's fine. You can make something that's great. But isn't it so much better when somebody else cooks that meal? Unless they're a terrible cook. I'm talking about good meals. Like you go to a restaurant, and you have a nice meal, and you're like, oh, it's so good. I could never make this. Meanwhile, maybe you could make it, but somebody else did it for you. So I think with Partscasters, it's the same way. I'm like, oh, I made this, but it's not as good as the one I could have bought that somebody else made, or if I got a custom shop to make something for me. That's my problem with Partscasters. I never want to keep them because I always think guitars that are made by somebody else are better. And that's really what it comes down to. So home-cooked meal home-cooked meal from somebody in your house that you didn't do it, or a restaurant, versus a build you did, or off the shelf, I guess you'd call it, right? When you buy it off the shelf in a store. And I really think that's it. So will I do any more Partscasters in the future? I don't know. I think I kind of got it out of my system a little bit. I'm not really inspired. I kind of used to do 1 or 2 a year. And one of the last one I did was a Harley Benton. And I totally I was lazy as possible with that one. It was a do-it-yourself kit, a plank, this cutting board size plank. And I just assembled it. I didn't customize it, nothing. But it looks pretty cool. I think it's cool because it's stupid. So that's my thoughts on Partscasters. Let me know in the comments your experience on Partscasters. Do you like to do them? Have you never done one? Are you thinking about doing one? What's stopping you from doing one? Yeah, I'll leave it up to you. Give me some feedback. Partscasters, worth it or not? Because that was the other comment I'd always get. People are like, this is not worth it. I'm like, yeah, but it's the fun of doing it. I know the money might not be worth it, but it was fun and I enjoyed it. Just like a restaurant food is not. It's way more expensive than making yourself a meal at home. All right, that's where Adam will end it, and I gotta go eat something. I'm gonna go eat a Partscaster. Okay, as always, play guitar and have fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.